Yeah, and I agree. But welcome, tabletop players. My name is Ruin Ortega, and tonight I am your keeper of arcane lore because we are playing Call of Cthulhu by Chaosium. Our campaign is the Society, and joined with me are all of these lovely people from across the indie tabletop podcast streaming channels galore. We'll go around and we will introduce everybody very quickly. You know what? Because we missed him in session 1, we are going to go to my co-host, Cade.
Hi.
Cheese hater.
I'm Cade. I hate cheese. Yeah, I am playing Charles.
Is that true?
That's true. I hate cheese. It's gross.
Okay.
It's edible glue. It's only there to hold other ingredients together.
Fair enough. Continue.
I am playing.
Fair enough, him.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
Gotta stick together.
He's never had a good spinach dip.
I love spinach dip. Spinach
That's
dip
like
is
90%
great.
There's cheese in it.
It doesn't taste like cheese though. Tell me I'm wrong.
He's just making the rules up as he goes.
He's not wrong.
It doesn't taste like cheese.
He's not wrong.
Who you playing, Cade?
I'm playing Charles. I'm a journalist. No, it's not a lactose intolerant thing. It's a I have taste buds thing. Anyway.
Or lack thereof.
I'm intolerant.
I'm intolerant of your face.
So am I. Join the club. Anyway, I'm playing Charles. He's a journalist. He got captured last time. He's not captured this time yet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a almost victim of a cult sacrifice.
What was Charles's last name? We never got that.
Montgomery.
No fromage.
No fromage.
Sans fromage.
And because his views on cheese are apparently also skewed, I'm going over to Jeremy.
Not skewed. I love cheese, but I'm not gonna hate on him. I mean, we can't.
Why?
all be
It's so
right.
much fun.
We can't all be right all the time. What do you
It's
want me to
Abby's
say? I'm
favorite
Jeremy.
activity.
Questionable.
I'm Jeremy. What else do you want me to say?
Talk about your character.
Okay, I'm playing Captain James Harrington II, darling, and I'm a good jolly Englishman over here in the Americas, and dreadful tea.
It's because it's coffee.
Picked a couple like maple leaves off in the yard, threw them in.
Yeah,
Since you're not-
James is a war veteran from the Boer War and the Great War, and then a turned sort of big game hunter. And somewhere along the lines of character creation, I went horribly wrong, and it turns out he's not particularly mentally stable. He breaks under pressure very easy. He's not the man I thought he was going to be, but we're here now.
He's not the man that we deserve, but he's
soiling himself.
He's not the
and
man
running
we
away a
need, but he's
lot.
the one we deserve right now. I don't know. Some bastardized Batman quote. Affy.
I'm Affy the DM. You can find me over at the Vactaire. I am the community manager. I don't know. And I DM on Mondays. I'm in Artemis's game on Fridays. And I do other stuff. Tonight I am playing Dr. Dottie Hamilton because she did not go to medical school to just be called Dottie Hamilton. Thank you.
Sorry. I'm
Damn
sorry.
straight. Damn straight.
I will
Did you
update
literally
the social
just
media
say
posts.
tonight we're playing Doctor?
Yes.
Well, it's gonna be one of those streams.
Yes.
My wife says no.
Dr. Dottie is from London, England, and also served in her own way during the Great War as a nurse before going to medical school in Boston to become a coroner. She is now the city coroner of wherever we end up. So saith I.
And because of Dottie, we knew that Joshua Winscott was indeed horribly dead. Everybody could tell that, but Dottie got there first, so yeah. Artemis.
Yeah, I'm Artemis, and I'm the social media manager and content coordinator over at the Vactaire, and I run a game on Friday night, play Affy's game on Mondays, and yeah, I just kind of live there.
And who are you playing?
Assuming I can find the right accent tonight, I'm playing Emma Reynolds. She is an actress from Texas, and yeah, living her best life and trying to get away from Dad.
Awesome. And Sly, you were up last there.
Hello, my name is Sly, and I play everyone's favorite shoe-throwing Minotaur girlfriend, Tiefling, on the Vactaire's Mistwalkers on Monday nights. Occasionally photobombed, video bombed by a hairless cat called Wrinkle Pig on stream. And I'm playing Wiley. I work with all types of people on all types of things, but I'm paid very well to keep quiet, and no one's paid me enough to talk yet.
We might have to find a solution to that problem, because I think Jeremy especially was interested in what you might be up to.
I guess we'll have to see.
I just like people who speak plainly.
So she's kind of, or he is kind of an enigma?
Who?
Wiley.
Me? Oh, Wiley.
Wiley.
I thought Wiley was a woman.
Oh, I mistook them. Sorry. Wiley is a woman.
No, that's fine. I thought I was having another bout of old man.
That's okay.
No, just me. Just me.
Gender's a construct. It's fine.
That is true. That is true. Well, with all of that, these are our lovely characters, and they have created the society. You see, after last session, when they discovered that some secret creatures were trying to raise Cthulhu from the depths of the ocean in order to enslave all of humanity, they decided that is kind of bad. That's a real bad thing. And they have some things that they want to do about that. Namely, they have committed themselves to stopping that for as long as they should live, because let's be real, they can't live forever, but the great old one Cthulhu does. So they can save them. They can save humanity for a time, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But we are going to do a little bit of time jumping today. We're going to start right after they escaped the former house of Joshua Winscott, who is now dead, and we're going to play out a few scenes, and then we're going to keep jumping ahead in time until we get to the right spot in our journey. So immediately after exiting, you rescue your friend Charles. You leave Joshua behind, unable to save him. And you run out, and you keep running all the way through the tunnels, up the cellar, and through the house until you're all as safe as you could possibly feel given the circumstances on the front lawn. And it's in the early hours of the morning. The sun is just beginning to crest over the hills. And what goes through your minds as you've just escaped an unspeakable horde of amphibious fish-like monstrosities?
Bloody hell.
Whoa.
Say we burn the place down.
I would agree with that.
I think Charles is
Okay.
just happy to be alive and just amazed that anyone came for him. I think he probably accepted his own death. Yeah.
Buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Are you well? Is there any injury that I can look at?
No, I think I'm all right. They were keeping me, I mean, fairly intact until they could get a chance to sacrifice me. Thank you. Again, I thought I was done for.
So we all saw that, I guess.
I think
Everybody
we all
saw.
saw it, yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know that's me just being like,
Who has the idol?
Well, Jeremy, you were clutching it at last glance. You had found it, and it had compelled you to take it with you. You saw unspeakable horrors as you clutched it, and you knew that you had to protect the world from it as well.
So James is just sort of collapsed down on the lawn, sitting on the front lawn of the house with the idol sort of in his hands,
Are
just
you
staring
okay?
at it.
"What you thinking, buddy? Are you okay?"
No.
Do you want to talk about it?
He gives you a very unimpressed look. No.
Okay, I respect that.
I don't. I need to check you out. Did you hit your head?
I'm fine.
You look it.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. How about we just give you a once-over anyway?
He doesn't respond to that, but he doesn't move away either. He just sits there looking at the idol.
I will give him a once-over just to make sure that he's not concussed or something.
Mhm. He doesn't appear to be significantly physically injured. Tell you what, Jeremy, what's your psychology? Or sorry, what's your intelligence?
70.
70. Okay, why don't you go ahead, Afi, and make me a psychology roll, and you need a hard success.
Ooh, that's a big ol' no.
So you're having a hard time placing exactly what's bothering James. You know you've all been through a lot. He seemed to go through the most. He was the one that was wildly shooting at the monsters. But, you know, what exactly is on his mind, you just can't place it. Perhaps it has something to do with that strange idol in his hands.
Do you want to put that down?
What?
The thing you're holding like a teddy bear.
He sort of almost looks. He looks surprised that he's even holding it still, and just sort of places it onto the grass beside him.
Lovely. Ew.
Don't touch it.
I had no intention of doing so, darling. Don't worry.
Jeremy, you feel a strange sense of clarity as James puts down the idol, and it's almost like just even glancing at it distorts your views.
Right. So we're done here then, right?
Well, we have to destroy this home, or the tunnels at least.
Do we?
We don't want anything down there getting out, now do
I mean,
we?
It's been a secret under this house for who knows how long.
Yes, but that was before they began digging.
Maybe someone else can come and break it up then.
Just for someone else to come and unbrick it later. Which is precisely what happened last time.
Yes, but there's no reason that it falls on our shoulders, right?
Who else can be trusted with such a task?
Anyone, the police, the military, someone else. Someone who knows what the hell those things down there are.
You are former military, yes?
Former military.
You know
For all
how...
the good it did me down there.
Precisely. What makes you think that anyone who goes down there, from military, police service, otherwise, will be better prepared?
Well, what makes you think an actress, a doctor, a reporter, and whatever she does are any better at handling this situation?
I mean, you don't know what I do, so.
What is it
I know.
you do?
No one knows what you do. Are you somehow connected to what's down there?
No.
Then what do you do?
I just, do odd jobs here and there for people.
Odd jobs.
Oh, so you're part of the mob.
No.
Bloody gardener, maybe.
We work in different circles. I was going with handyman.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody needs their...
Either way, what the hell are we to do?
Burn the place to the ground.
They're still down there.
Good. Hopefully they'll burn down with it.
I look up and down the street. I'm like, there could be a tunnel in every one of these basements.
There likely is.
Oh, that's encouraging.
I'm inclined to agree with the gentleman here. I'm not really in favor of small-scale genocide by burning down his whole neighborhood.
What if we find a way to collapse the tunnels? At least the ones under this house, so that they're so that nothing can come out, and then we burn down this house specifically, so that at least this entryway is not accessible.
Where do we find charges of such?
Oh, that's easy enough. A little bit of wine here, an open gas valve there.
You ever thrown a Molotov cocktail?
It's a cave, ladies.
Yes?
It's a cavern. A little bit of flame isn't going to do anything.
No, but the house collapsing down on top of it might.
Goddamn German bunkers down there. You can't just burn them.
Why not?
I mean, we would have had to cut off access to the water thing, which is why I'm saying we should just try to collapse the tunnels as much as possible.
Well, who's going down there to set the charges? It's not going to be me.
I will if none of you are too brave enough to do so.
I can help whoever wants to go set the charges.
It's not a matter of bravery. It's a matter of intelligence. You can't go down there. They're likely to kill you.
I'll
What they
take
did to this
bravery.
man.
I'm a coward. I'm not going down there again.
How is your dog, by the way?
He's
Is your
fine.
dog okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She's right here.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry, there's a dog in the campaign and Ruin hasn't tried to kill it yet? Is this even Cthulhu?
There's no moral quandaries with Affy. She'll let the dog die.
Oh, yeah.
I will shoot kids in the face, so dogs are nothing.
Dogs are more important than children.
While I agree, if it's between me and the dog, I pick me. I'm sure we can find some sort of detonators. Explosive.
Really, just stick a bunch of barrels of flour down there and light those on fire. Those will explode real well.
Mm, That's
Please
true.
don't forget, we're in a residential.
Be
Well, yeah.
underground.
What if it's underground?
Affy, go ahead and give me an idea roll, which is your intelligence.
And I'm rolling under.
Yes.
Intelligence. I rolled a 26, so that is between my half and fifth.
Perfect. So hard success. Well, it occurs to you, since you are such a proponent of, blowing it up and getting rid of it, that there was that long kind of initial hallway. And it didn't seem like there was a lot of things down there that were inhabiting that area. They tended to stay away from it. There wasn't a lot of tracks, right? In fact, you almost begin to question, did one of those monsters really grab Joshua, or did he just walk himself? And so it occurs to you that perhaps you could get down in that area, lay out some dynamite lines, and blow up that section, which would probably be enough to not only seal off their exit, but large enough that it would take them years to actually get out of that section if they tried to climb their ways out. If they didn't die first, because remember, up until that first hall turn, there was a boarded off section to the sea. So if you can blow it up before there, they don't have an exit to the river, rather, not the sea, but the river.
Right. So, where can we get some dynamite?
A lot of barrels of flour. Everyone will do the job.
It's the 1920s. Dynamite. You go to any good hardware store and you're getting black powder anywhere.
The rockets red glare.
America!
Like being the only American here.
You're welcome.
I didn't hear a
Sorry, what time of
disagreement.
day is it?
Pardon me?
Is it evening? Or no, it was morning.
Yeah, it was basically dawn. Yeah.
How
Oh,
did you
we're
even
still
get
in our
down there, sir?
pajamas.
Sir,
No, we're not.
how did you even get
James.
down there? Did
Get
something
down
come up
where?
out? Well, this gentleman here he was about to be shish kebabbed by the fisherman, but
Oh.
I was led down by my companion. He brought me down there and said that he had a big story for me, something that was gonna, finally let me break through in the papers.
Josh took you down there?
Yeah,
Oh, my dear, you certainly do know how to pick your friends.
I mean anything for a good story, right?
Well, he can saw it
No.
off as far as I'm concerned. But
Well,
I'm
he
glad-
is dead, so
I'm glad
he
he's
got
dead.
his rewards.
Taking people down there. He's probably in league with them, you know. And if he's in league with them, I look up and down the street. Maybe everyone knows.
Good thing he's dead.
Maybe we were just brought here like worms on a hook.
Hmm.
What if there's more
Possibly.
places like this?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Christ, I'm sure. How are you so sure? This is
There's
regular
usually
occurrence
more.
for you?
No, but it seems rather ignorant to assume that we are the only creatures here. And to have but one cavern full of monsters. Unlikely it is the only one. So, dynamite?
Go to store.
We
Alright.
go shopping.
I was gonna say, any major, opposition to that? Okay.
So we do it.
I think
Well-
James is clearly like, this is not a good idea, but he does. He's so cowed, but by what happened down there, he doesn't say anything.
As we're packing up to go, I'm going to use my hanky to protect my hands from touching the idol directly and put it in the trunk of my car.
I'll actually, if you go to reach for it, I think James maybe comes over and takes it.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to put it in my trunk? The boot. British.
It can ride. It can ride with me.
I don't know that that's wise.
I don't know that it's wise to blow up this neighborhood, but we're doing
It's not
it.
the neighborhood, darling. It's just this house.
As you and I are the only sensible people from a more cultured community. How many times have we detonated people's front lawns?
Well, I suppose that would be who you ask.
Oh, it's a regular occurrence. Where are you from? Liverpool?
London.
I'll take care of the idol. Go and get your explosives.
Try not to let anyone see it. I have a feeling that it should be kept sequestered.
Keep it secret.
Keep it safe.
Safe. Tolkien, wonderful author. All right.
One of the best contemporary
None of it has come out
writers.
yet.
I'll say he started writing in 1914, so something maybe.
Okay, shut up. Shut up. Let's move past that. Now we know where he got it from.
Clearly, he's an eldritch god.
That explains a lot.
It does explain.
Plus,
I'm going to go and quietly sit in the front seat of my car
Okay.
I think I'm gonna
with,
go
with the
him.
idol.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Um,
if he doesn't stop me, I'm going with him. I think I'm not too keen on this whole blowing up the neighborhood idea either.
Yeah, like, I'll stay in front of the house so people don't go in.
Yeah, and I've seen enough shit for one night.
Yeah.
You are both the most insane people here, so that makes sense to me.
All too sane.
I assume that Wiley
I
would be
prefer
going to get...
the term sanity deficient.
Fair point. I assume that
Sane
Wiley
adjacent.
would be going to get dynamite as well. Okay. Well, with that being said, Dottie and Emma and Wiley head off to the local hardware store to get the materials that they need. And they find it in hearty supply. The worst part of their day is that they have to wait in line to actually get the supplies. Now, was there anything else that you wanted while you were at the hardware store? You did have to wait a little while for the store to open, though, so...
Well, clearly we must get breakfast.
Hmm.
No sense blowing anything up on an empty stomach.
I mean, there's a place around here that does bagels.
Bagels.
Yeah.
What is a bagel?
Come on, darling, I'll show you. And I take her to go find bagels at some place named Barb's.
Barbs.
Oh, bagels.
I'm just like,
Yeah, you go and you get breakfast, and we're gonna say that the breakfast hunt goes before the hardware store opens, and so you enter a pretty modest-looking establishment, Barb's Bagels. If this is some reference, I don't understand it, but
It is.
okay, perfect.
Just kick them out of the fucking game.
Jeremy,
Artemis,
you were there for that nonsense.
I
You
know.
started
Your
that
game.
nonsense.
I'm trying to avert the problem now. I'm trying to steer around it.
no, I'm
By kicking us
diving into
out?
this. I'm diving into this. Artemis, what does the 1920s Barb's Bagels look like?
God. I'm guessing like it's got your typical like long counters in there, like you would find it in a diner, stuff like that. I don't know. It's New England in the 20s.
So it's like
A
the
deli. It's like
polished.
a deli.
Oh, it's a deli? A deli or a diner? Like, those are different
A
fields.
deli that sells bagels.
Sure.
I
I
don't-
don't,
It's a
remember
Jewish
what we
deli.
established the first time around, but there was a place that had bagels. It became a thing. It's still a thing a year and a half later. So
You don't want to go to Bob's Bagels. You want to go to Bob's Bagels.
yeah, you're gonna screw up your accent doing that.
I know.
Well, you managed to find a lovely little diner deli hybrid establishment, possibly Jewish, that is serving tons of bagels and black coffee. And you sit down, and
No tea.
she kind of looks at you, and she's like, "Not in this part of the world."
Coffee then. Bows.
Puts like tons of like milk and honey in it. Uh, and then if there's nothing you wanted to discuss outright, you could just sit there enjoying life and realizing that you probably escaped a horrific death.
How exciting.
I'm not sure that's the word I'd use, but sure.
Why not?
I mean, yes,
We survived, didn't we?
that's fair.
We have a great adventure to speak of in the future, don't we?
Not that we should be telling people what we saw down there. They might think we're crazy. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we're women, and they don't like women talking crazy.
Boy, isn't
Sorry.
that
America,
true.
sweetie.
A problem. Very well. We won't discuss it. However,
That stands all the way to 2023.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it gets better in the next 100 years.
accurate.
Listen, as somebody who's seen the Barbie movie
Whoa.
twice in the last 48 hours, it's got something to say about that.
Oh, buddy.
I'm here for it. Alright, so we won't discuss it so openly. However, we will need more people to join this cause that we've begun, I believe.
Do you
The
have
five
anyone
of
in
us.
mind?
Oh, I've no idea. But now we have some evidence. Some, anyway. I should have taken samples.
I'm sure you'll get another chance if we decide that we're going to do this.
I suppose so. These bagels are awful.
How dare you?
And on that note, we're going to flash back over to James and Charles, who I believe went to go sit in a car with the Cthulhu idol. How are you gentlemen passing the time?
Silently. Absolutely silently in the front seat.
I mean, I'm here for that if that's where this is going.
Charles was gonna say thank you again, but that's too much like showing feelings, so... No, I think Charles is just like, thank you again for saving me.
Of course. Can't believe you ended up down there. Can only imagine.
Yeah. So we agree blowing this up is nuts, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. As long as someone's on the same page with me.
We dropped so many bombs and charges on bunkers and things like that. I'm not even sure the cave's going to collapse.
Yeah.
Also, like, why not call the police? Why not bring in someone official to do this?
There has to be someone out there who deals with this stuff.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. How am I supposed to, like, go back to work on Monday? Right? Like, how am I just supposed to go back to, like, writing about, you know, a shoot-up that happens downtown, or how traffic is getting real bad and they should really bring in some kind of, like, traffic circle?
I'm done for. That's what I tell you. That's what my feelings are.
Yeah.
I came here chasing a bit of a vision, and now it's clear I won't be able to see it through.
What kind of vision, if you don't mind me asking?
I saw a creature. Horrible beast. I came to talk to old magazine mogul about it. A little bit about some of the hunting I'd done, and I thought this was going to be the next big hunt for me. I thought this was going to be... I thought it was going to be a purpose.
Well,
Clearly, I see a man with gills, and I lose my goddamn mind. I've seen far worse than that. Far worse. But something about... And then he just looks back down at the idol. Something about...
well,
Charles, I'm a broken man, clearly. I suppose it's time to retire and forget this ever happened.
forgive me, I'm not much of a hunting man myself, but isn't the point of a great hunt to overcome something? To prove that you're the stronger being?
Of course, but what lies below that house?
Well,
I lost my damn mind. I made a fool of myself.
when you're hunting prey, if it gets away from you the first time, do you stop? Or do you continue hunting?
I know, but it's not an elephant. It's not a rhinoceros. It's not some beast that is mindless. Those things clearly have thought and intention, and this is not what I thought I would find here.
I don't know. I've been doing research into societies and like secret social clubs, and personally I think it's all connected. I think this is part of something bigger.
You think this, what we found here beneath the house, is like connected to some hedonistic orgy-loving cult or something, you know?
Well,
Something like that. You think this is connected to things like that?
I don't know. The things that I've heard happening here and up in Arkham, and just... I don't know. It just seems like there's more
Arkham,
going
are you
on
from-
in the shadows than what we Noah.
Are you from Arkham?
I have some buddies who work in the business up there.
I
Wrote
have
a
a
couple.
small place in Arkham.
Yeah, wrote a couple stories for a few small newspapers. But
Either way, I don't think you can seal them in.
I don't think you can either. I think you've got to, if you're gonna stop them, you got to go bigger. I think you have to go to whatever brought them here and stop that. I don't think that locking them in a cave is going to stop them forever.
I'll lift the idol. When I touched this, I saw places. I saw things.
What sort of places and things?
I wish I could describe them clearly for you, my friend, but alas, you saw the condition I was in down there. I was a fucking madman.
Well, 24 hours ago, I would have agreed with you and said you were mad, but being captured by fish people kind of changes what you think of as being insane and what's real and what's not.
I couldn't agree with you more. Again, 24 hours ago, I would have thought you were a madman for what you just said there.
Well,
And Charles James maybe smiles for the first time since he's come out of the house.
well, here's to being madmen then, I guess.
If we only had a drink for that, we should have told them to bring the dynamite and some of that American whiskey back.
You two continue to pass the time in idle chat, and meanwhile, the other three finish up with their breakfast. And as they're about to leave, Sly, you had something you wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get, like, what do people put on bagels? Just, what I think would be a nice bagel for Charles and James, because I'm trying to be friends with them. I'm not sketchy, guys. I'm not.
That's just what someone who's sketchy would say.
If I
Listen,
may
if somebody needs
suggest,
their gutters clean, I'll clean them. That's it, you know?
if I may suggest, Wiley,
Yes.
perhaps you would bring them alcohol.
Why not both?
That's true. We go
mean-
find a bootlegger.
I just have to double check. It's 1920. I don't believe Prohibition has started yet.
We get the whiskey and the dynamite at the same pharmacy.
That
Oh,
sounds
for sure.
something wholly
we-
American.
Oh, you know what?
there's
It would
no
have.
way
Oh, no,
dynamite,
it's 1,000%
dynamite is being
true.
sold at a pharmacy.
In 1920, yes, you would get
In
everything at a chemist.
1920, yeah.
You would get
We
everything
could
at
get
a
like
chemist.
opium and shit there.
Yeah. They were regularly prescribing opium at the time.
Prohibition would have just started, so yes. You know what? We'll say that because you'd still be able to get it at the at the pharmacy, with a prescription. So you could try that.
Oh, how wonderful! I'm a doctor.
I need a prescription for whiskey. That's what I need.
You got some Cthulhu in your blood. You should do some cocaine about it.
Accurate.
I'm funny.
You're hilarious. It's so cute.
Thank you.
Well, with that, Wiley purchases definitely some bagels, and then Dr. Dottie takes them to the nearest pharmacy, where apparently you can at least get the things for dynamite, if not the actual dynamite, and talks to the pharmacist, the druggist at the time, about prescriptions for alcohol. And tell you what, just give me a quick I persuade, because you're a doctor.
Oh, I got a 13. So
Should I
think
just start,
that's
like,
very,
vibrating?
very good.
That's very good. That is at least a hard success. So the pharmacist doesn't see anything wrong with it. You have your license, of course, and so he just thinks that you're stocking up. So he actually even gives you like the preferred rate. Let's say you walk away with 6 bottles of whiskey.
Lovely.
Let me know how much to give you.
How much do I have to spend to get that?
Dirt cheap. What's your daily spending?
$10.
You're good. We're not even gonna worry about it. You
Okay.
spend it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're good. You don't have to dip into your cash.
Excellent.
Well, after a few hours, the three of you go back to the house, Joshua Winscott's house, and you manage to see that Charles and James are still sitting in the car. It's very possible that one of them is nodded off as if they wish to, and you're now standing in front of a house with bottles of liquor and dynamite.
I'm gonna
We're gonna
take
be
the
roommates.
bagels and the whiskey and go over to them first. Like, knock on the window. Hey, guys.
I don't even know if there is side windows. I think we just have a canopy over it.
Cool. I don't know how cars work.
I feel like I think I have the money. I'm just checking how much one of these would have cost at the time, but I think I have like a 1920s. I'd like a silver ghost, which is like a Rolls Royce, because I don't think I would drive this American garbage.
Well, I just bring the whiskey and the bagels over, and I'm like, hey guys, I brought you something.
Peace offering, I suppose.
How are you at rolling cigars?
You still intend to detonate the house? The cave?
Maybe.
The neighborhood? Rolling cigars?
Not the neighborhood.
I've always been more of a pipe man myself. But...
Charles is
Oh, well.
already eating the bagel.
We have the loose black powder, you see, so I figured rolling it like a cigar would be close enough.
Oh, I'm just here for the show now, Doctor.
Yes, but you could still get your hands a little dirty.
Well, that would implicate me in the crime you're about to commit, and I don't intend to do that.
Is it really a crime if the owner is dead?
To blow... Never mind.
I believe
Just
destruction
tell
of
'em I'm from Texas,
property
ain't
is
nobody
still
gonna
a
answer
crime.
question.
I'm pretty sure,
Semantics.
even here in the wild, wild Americas, you're about to commit a crime.
How exciting.
What kind of doctor are you again? Did you say?
I'm a coroner.
That tracks.
They don't let birds work on living people.
Unfortunately.
That's what she told us. Her words, not mine. The bird
It is
part
accurate.
was mine.
Could fix them all overseas when they were dying in the fields, but never mind here. As I like go inside and start making dynamite cigars.
As I start to drink the whiskey, I'm like, desperate times.
As it's like 9 in the morning.
I think I deserve a drink. Go fuck yourself. I'm drinking this.
You
I'm
are
even
not.
passing it over to Charles.
I go help Dottie. We blow the tunnel.
Well, it appears the doctor has found good medication.
Indeed.
Now, Dottie and Emma, are you putting enough dynamite to just blow up the tunnels, or are you also blowing up the house? Like, what's? I mean, there's going to be significant damage to the foundation of the house, anyways. But like, what's the real plan for the house itself?
I'm
Figure
also
that
with
we
them.
blow the tunnel, and I would just light the house on fire, like near the fireplace, because just make it look like an accident.
So if we turn the stove on with a gas leak, once
Either
the
way.
tunnels blow,
Well, do you want loud or do you want delayed?
We might need, I forget his name. Josh's body or something. Do you think we can, like, grab it? Do you think?
No, because then we leave that down with the fish people.
Oh shit, I
Yes.
forgot about that.
There's still a whole horde of them down there.
I forgot that was real.
Yes, unfortunately it was. I think if we set the charges in the tunnel, leave the oven on and open, but unlit, and put a candle nearby, the whole thing will go up and we'll be long gone.
Do we know if he should be gone somewhere? Do you know if we can make it seem like he left in a hurry or something? Something to make it
Well,
not look like arson?
The house blows up.
If there's no body in the wreckage, though.
people disappear all the time.
Accidents happen.
Do you know how many John Does come across my table?
The thing is, there's no John Doe here. That's what I'm saying.
But the point still stands. It could be simply theft. Or it's insurance fraud.
I trust you.
A very poor decision if I do say so myself, as I'm like opening the oven and turning on the burners.
Affy, do you have the demolition skill?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm just going from she's seen some shit.
I'm from
In-
Texas, so
on
nobody's
the
gonna ask
table.
questions about that.
She's seen some shit on the table, and cops talk when they come in for their reports, and that's what I'm going with.
Okay. So the standard demolitions is 1%. So I'll tell you what, because I think that you've done enough like working up to this and like planning and things like that. Give me a luck roll.
Please let them set themselves on fire.
I got a 19, and my luck is 45.
Perfect. I was hoping you would get at least a hard. I am going to give
I'm hard.
you roll a d10.
6.
I want you to write in the skill demolitions, and it's now at 7%. That like add it to your skill sets.
Yep.
And I want you to make the roll.
Oh,
It's gonna happen no matter what. But let's see.
I'm gonna be in the car going to Charles like, do you think the good doctor's Irish? Maybe a
I
little
got
bit
Scottish.
Irish in the blood?
Scottish?
a 30.
I always have a tough time telling the two of them
Okay.
apart. I'm American.
I worked with a fantastic demolitions man from Ireland.
Would Dottie like to spend 23 points of luck or push the roll?
I don't think it's
Nope.
going to get any better than that, and I'm not spending 23 points of luck.
Okay.
Push it so it's cataclysmic.
Perfect.
So what would Dottie do differently? Seeing that she's not quite getting it the first time, she's got all the lines strung out, she set the candle, she opened up the stove, and nothing's happening.
Can I help?
No, this is all on Dottie.
I'm out in the
Come on,
car.
Chaos Bean.
Did you forget the magic?
Figure it out.
You got this. Just pretend it's someone you don't like.
Oh, I've got it. Everyone leave. It's fine. And we all go to the front door.
So you were
And
in the house with the gas filling up?
Well,
Lighting matches, hoping for the best.
You and I.
No.
I'm so glad I'm in the car drinking.
I'm just making sure everybody's out of the house before I do stupidity. I pull out my 32, and I'm going to use that as the igniter and shoot into the kitchen.
So I'm still going to ask for a demolitions roll
But I'm using firearm.
for a particular purpose.
You will not believe me.
Tilt your camera. Tilt your Come on.
I can't. I don't know
If
if
I
you can
see
see
anything
it.
inappropriate,
Zero?
like I need all the
Zero.
sanity I can. That's
Okay,
100.
no.
That's
That's 100.
I know.
You
That's
couldn't
why
get.
I'm so upset.
That
This
is
is
like a
real
botched
bad,
failure.
Abby.
This is
This
real
is
good.
really bad.
This is real good.
Please
So-
let the 3 women fly out of the house onto the front lawn, burning. Just let the men in the car be right for once.
No, never.
Oh no. Affy, are you
I guess
ready
the
for
3 of
this?
us are rolling up new characters.
Yep, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I need to look at.
Look, I tried to do firearms, and you're just like, yeah.
Listen, if we all die, I'm fine with it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I need to look
The
at
rockets red
what
glare.
is Affy's or sorry, what is Dottie's HP?
Yo.
10.
Okay, okay. Well, it's a good thing I didn't decide it was going to be a D10. Because, so like on a fumble, you're going to take the maximum damage.
Mhm.
So Dottie, you, the good doctor, walks back to the car, takes a quick look around to ensure she doesn't see anybody, pulls out her revolver, takes her best military stance that she remembers from back in the days of just serving the way that she could, and fires right directly into the kitchen. And at first, there's not a lot. And then all of a sudden, there's 2 massive explosions. First, the house, which completely collapses in upon itself in a burning mass of just devastation and demolition. And then the ground erupts, throwing all of the debris of the house up into the air as the many sticks of dynamite that you bought go off. And a piece of plank
Fun to do that.
comes sailing through the air and lodges itself firmly into Dottie's abdomen,
Oh.
dealing 8 points of damage.
I thought you were gonna say it hits the fucking car.
I've seen Final
I
Destination.
thought
I
you
know
were
how
right
this
about
ends.
You know what? It's. I thought about it, Jeremy, but I couldn't punish your character for something they clearly didn't want to happen. Dottie is going to have to strike the major wound box on her
Yep.
character sheet, and I will need a Constitution roll to see if she remains conscious.
Those was anyone
I
else
got-
happens to be a doctor.
I got a 3. So
Okay. So she does manage to remain conscious. What is going through Dottie's mind as she looks down and sees an entire plank of very polished hardwood sticking through her?
at least it's polished, less splinters. And then she faints.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to place it into your minds that you just blew up a house around 9 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing now?
Do either of us 2 have to roll for damage or anything? Because we were closely
No.
involved in it.
No, I assume you got out of the way.
I just look at Charles pleadingly and put the car in gear.
Emma? Get in the car.
I'm
Let's
kidding.
go.
I don't do that. I don't do that. But I feel like that would be awesome.
Well,
We should probably move.
yeah. I would assume that we would take Dottie to a hospital or something.
Up to you. I don't care. Just get Dottie in the car. Give me the keys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I throw Dottie in her own car and then we go.
Give me the keys for Dottie's car. Yes. Let's go. Apply pressure or whatever people do to keep people from bleeding out.
No,
But don't
no,
move the-
no, don't. Can I?
Don't
can I
take
make
it out.
Can I make some kind of first aid roll or something to sort of, having been on the battlefield and seen shit like this before maybe.
Tourniquet the
Absolutely.
abdomen, right?
Don't fucking do that. I'm not even sure she should be moved, but if they've already like jammed her in the car,
Threw
She's
in
on
the
her
trunk.
back. She's on her back, right? Like, okay, wait, how? Okay, wait, hold on, pause.
there's a
Back
piece
up,
of
rewind.
wood right through her.
Rewind,
She's
rewind.
on
That's
her
what I'm saying.
back.
Rewind.
It's fine. It's elevated.
Is it all the way? I said rewind. Is it all the way through her body?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Don't throw her in the car.
Okay,
How
we're gonna
long is
figure
this
out
piece
a
of
way
wood?
to like stabilize her and then get
I'm
her
gonna try my first aid
Hear me
to
out.
do some sort of battlefield triage, so that the good doctor doesn't bleed out on us.
Hear me out.
Absolutely. Go ahead
Can I
and
do
roll.
that?
Okay, while you do that, hear me out. How long is this piece of wood? Because if the piece of wood is long,
Because size matters. What's going on here?
lie.
It's not long.
Listen, at
It's
this
girthy.
At this point, the motion of the ocean is not good.
wait,
It's
Maybe
long.
slow her
It's
down.
polished. Oh, this is a good game.
It's not long, but it's
Like,
very
why
big
did I
around.
invite these yahoos over here?
guys, listen. Maybe sit her down, like facing like left to right, and then have the ends of the plank out the windows so that she's sitting up straight.
Jeremy, because of Wiley's thoughtfulness, I'll give you a bonus die onto your roll.
God, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at keeping people alive.
Well, I have a 60 and a 40 here then.
And what's
And my-
your first aid?
40.
Oh, perfect. So you succeed. So yeah, you tell me how you are going to attempt to stabilize Dottie as she regains 1 HP.
Oh Jesus, I don't know how this is done. My character does, but I'm like maybe pack like
Yeah, you need
Take
to
it-
hard pack around it so it doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
taking my jacket off and turning it into bandages or something and packing around the wound and
Sure. Let's say you do all of that. You get some bandages around to try to stop the bleeding out. And you definitely put her in sideways to the vehicle to make sure that this piece of wood is undisturbed.
okay.
And then you tell Wiley and Emma to just support each side of the plank.
Can either of you drive?
I can.
I was going to drive, but I'll hold the plank.
I mean,
if
it's
somebody else
Wiley.
wants
I mean,
to
it's
drive as well.
James's car.
No, I thought we were also taking
Well,
Dottie's
I'm not
car.
putting her in
because-
my car. Like those are expensive seats
And
probably.
And also,
Yeah.
that's just leaving a vehicle at the scene of the crime.
No, I'll throw Charles my keys. You can drive, right,
Yeah,
buddy?
yeah. About 25% of the time I can drive.
Okay.
If I was gonna put a number to it, I'd say
If you're
about a
gonna put a
quarter of the
number to it-
time.
Okay, I'm only a little bit better than that.
Okay.
So
I can do it 40% of the time.
don't 40% of the time I'm accurate 100% of the
Yeah.
time.
Yep, there you go.
I'm going to get in the back seat with the doctor or wherever like we've got her to hold everything in place, trying not to move like the wood around cuz I'm sure that would be excruciating. Holding all the like whatever I've thrown together with first aid. Sort of just like dropping right back into like it's just another day in the military. My hands covered in red, and then not politely I shout like drive the fucking car or something to whoever's driving this car.
Throw it in gear and go.
It's not in my car. You just follow in my car.
Yeah.
She can bloody up her own car.
And where are
Had to
you
blow up the
going?
goddamn, I don't know. There's got to be a hospital, right?
There definitely would be.
How
Need
do
a
we
story.
explain?
What happened?
Yeah,
You
how do
blew
we-
up a fucking house. That's what
We
happened.
went-
That's a
went to
crime.
visit a friend, and there was a gas leak. That's all we gotta tell them.
I'm following. I'm not...
I'm not doing the talking.
But what? I thought that's what you do.
No, that's what I do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm not paid enough to do the talking.
Just drive. Just drive.
You all make your way to the nearest hospital in Providence, Rhode Island, and you
Can't be that far.
go immediately
It's Rhode
to. Listen, my knowledge of Rhode Island comes from Family Guy. It's not good.
I'm
make
from
your
America,
way.
and my knowledge of Rhode Island is not very good, so you know, it's fine.
You make your way to the triage emergency room, and they see immediately, of course, what the problem is, and they begin to take Dottie into an operating room to try and patch her up. However, there is definitely a a um, a doctor who comes out asking a lot of questions, and the first thing that he wants to know is who is speaking for the lady who is in
Can I fight
distress.
can I fight to not be removed from Dottie? Like when they take
Sure.
her into wherever they're going,
How would
You're
'Cause
the
I'm
dude
better-
on the gurney holding
I'm
everything
fucking
together.
better. I'm better than these people, frankly. So,
I know
yeah,
more than you.
What's your
exactly.
credit rating?
Where's the idol?
My
Like,
credit
should-
rating is 50.
Should we
Okay.
like make sure that that's like
It's in
I could-
the
if I
car
had
that
to,
I
I
was
could make it-
driving, so I still got
If
it.
I had to, I could make it rain in here.
It sounds like the idol is hidden. Jeremy, why doesn't James give us some sort of role? He's got great credit rating. That would make him seem somewhat important. So give us some sort of role that would convince people that he should not be removed from Dottie's side.
I guess I can't roll my size, hey? There is an intimidate skill I see here.
There
But
is.
apparently I didn't give that much
What
value
is your
to it.
size?
My size is 75.
I would give you a bonus die for that.
Yeah, I'm just going to... Like, I feel like he's sort of in take charge mode, being an officer, and like now all of a sudden all these civilians come rushing in, and I'm in full like giving orders as opposed to taking them.
When you start going in and doing that, the doctor immediately looks at you and he says, "A serviceman, hey."
I'll just nod.
All right, well, I guess it won't hurt, but stay back. We've got important work to do here. And, he immediately begins to extract the plank and begin operation on Dottie. In this case, since you're in the room, as he is operating, the doctor would begin asking you questions. Well, out with it. What happened? Something like this doesn't just occur. It would have taken extreme force to send this through this woman's body.
It was an explosion.
That would explain the boom that we heard halfway across town.
Yes.
And? Do you know the
I don't-
cause?
No, I don't know the cause.
Well, if
The
you don't
house-
know the
The house
cause,
bloody exploded.
how does that the house you were staying in?
No, we weren't staying there. We were visiting someone there. Walked up to the front door and the damn thing blew up.
I'm gonna need a fast talk roll.
Oh boy. Hold on. Oh Jesus. 5%. I'm at 27. I would have to spend luck to get down to that.
Or you could, you could, or because you rolled a witch.
I rolled a 47. Pardon me. I rolled a 27, but I only have 5% in fast talk.
So you'd have to spend 22 luck, or you could try and push the roll.
Yeah, sorry. My luck is 45, or I can push the roll.
Mm-hmm.
But if I fail a pushed roll, bad things happen, right?
I'll be right
Can.
back.
Usually does. A lot of times you'll succeed, but something bad then happens. Or if you're
Is this
trying
the
to
doctor
lie
that's
somebody-
working on her?
It is.
I am going to turn this 160. Like 180, 190,
160.
180,
A
160.
Not quite all the way
Like,
around,
all
but
the
most
way-
of the way
No,
around.
I'm coming around.
Unbelievable
I'm
amount
coming around,
around.
but not all the way around. Like I stopped just short of a full turn. And I'm gonna just go on the offensive, and I'm gonna be like, less questions and save the woman's life.
Ooh. I'm just trying to think what I would. All right, I'll make that a persuade roll then, based on what you said before and the logic that he should probably just focus. I'll make that a persuade.
I'm not very good at that either, but let's see. As a officer, I clearly relied on the ranks of the military. Okay, I got a 32, but I only have 25 at persuade.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
it's only
spend the
7.
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burn
You
the luck.
you changed tactics, so it wasn't quite a pushed roll. So we'll let that happen.
Can I spend the luck on that then? The 7 luck.
I believe so.
I'm at
because-
32 and I need 25, so 7 luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be fine.
I won't need that
GM
later,
would let
right?
him do it.
I'm gonna let it happen. I think.
Are you
because
not?
you're-
Sorry, is there a rule that I'm not allowed to spend luck
So
on
you,
that?
you can't spend luck on a pushed roll.
Oh, okay.
But because you changed tactics, I think it's not a pushed roll anymore. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm fine with
gonna
it failing, dude, and they can
No,
just kick me out of
go
the ER
ahead.
and beat me senseless. I don't care.
Spend the 7 luck. We're good with it.
Done.
Excellent. And so he kind of nods and gets back to work.
I'm gonna
And then
follow
this-
through on it. I'm gonna be like, "Goddamn civilians," and like just like act entirely. Well, I probably am irritated. I don't think it's total. It's not a fake. It's just like that's where I've gone. So yeah, I just criticized civilian life and wouldn't have lasted 2 seconds over there in the trenches.
And then in the meantime, we're gonna.
I'm gonna make
say-
sure they can see my discoloration as well. Like I have that discoloration all over, like sort of behind by the ear and back and my arms. So maybe I can just gross them out.
It takes them well through the day in order to complete this surgery. She had some pretty massive injuries. And let's be honest, surgery at this time, not that great. So, with that being said, Dottie gets back 2 HP as the surgery concludes. And
The moment I
we're
think
gonna
she's gonna be okay, I'll go back out to the waiting room and tell everybody that.
Perfect. Dottie is not going to emerge from the room until 11 p.m. So
She's
in the
gonna-
meantime, what have the rest of you been up to?
She's gonna make it, but she's gonna whistle when she runs.
I mean, I guess Emma would try to like sort of keep the attention away from the fact that they just brought in somebody who was at an exploding building, like, because Emma is pretty well known out in LA, so she would try to use that to her advantage to sort of keep like the nurses and stuff distracted, anybody who's paying attention to what's going on with Dottie.
Yeah, throughout the day, people recognize you and start to talk to you about those movies that they saw that one time. Of course, we don't have the ability to replay movies during this era, so they saw it that one time, tried to recall all the details, and maybe you remind them about a couple that were important. But either way, you definitely sign a few autographs throughout the day, and even when visiting hours are over, they they don't kick you out because you're a celebrity. Of course, you belong here.
I think
She's my friend, so I'm just so worried about her.
Charles is drinking a lot of shitty waiting room coffee. It's been a very long day.
But you could put whiskey in it.
I think I am. I think...
One of the doctors joins you in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
The head operating doctor comes out. Oh, whiskey?
1000% at that point.
Well, he's probably like smoking over the giant hole in my stomach and like, It's fine.
I'm just gonna make sure the dog's okay and try to clean up the blood in the car, I guess.
While the four of you, so not Dottie, of course, while you're sitting there, I want each of you to give me a spot hidden roll.
Regular success.
I did not get a success.
19.
Got like between my high number and my middle number.
A hard success because it's between. Sorry, Sly, 19 out of
64, 32, and 12.
so 60.
So
Sorry,
hard,
60,
hard.
hard success. Okay, so a hard success. So Emma and Wiley, at one point in the day, you go off to the side to quickly talk to each other. As you were all panicked to get away with Dottie, you saw a lone male figure watching your cars drive away hurriedly. You're not sure where he came from, but he was standing in the middle of the street, intently watching the cars as they drove off.
You see what he looked like?
It was hard to tell. He was a man probably close to 50s, but pretty unassuming other than that. But with that, I could actually use a coffee break, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. And we're back and highly caffeinated. Well, things have gone a little bit awry here tonight as our investigators thought it was going to be very simple to blow up a house until Dottie, the doctor, was, impaled by a wooden floorboard plank. They have spent the night in the hospital. There was a realization that somebody had seen what happened, but the rest of the day goes uneventfully. There are no, concerned policemen with sirens coming to the hospital to find them. And if anybody at any point had gone back to the neighborhood to try to find this person, no matter how many doors they knock on, they don't find him. With that being said, at 11 p.m., Dottie emerges from her hospital room, and she's going to take a 5-point dexterity deduction permanently. However, she has been saved. She is incredibly hurt and will heal at 1 point per week. With that being said, who knows how long before fingers start pointing in your directions. People who saw your cars parked out front, people who saw you buying, dynamite from a pharmacy. Things like that. And so our investigators begin to think about relocating to other major cities. Somewhere where they can all group together to think about their next steps. When Charles, I'm going to place it on him, just for plot reasons, has an inkling that there's a place that they should go.
Yeah, I have connections in Arkham with a friend who also has done some journalism work, and might be able to help us out, either making connections or putting us up somewhere.
Okay.
I have a place in Arkham as well. I would be more than happy to relocate our whatever this is to Arkham.
With everyone in agreement, they go back to James's house in Arkham to discuss just exactly what is it that they plan to do. There were fragments of conversation in the car between James and Charles, and which each one of them tried to grapple with the reality of, was this a one-off event of some monstrosity in a historical location? Or is this something deeper, something that's going to continue to try and destroy the world? And the question hinges upon every member of the party. What are your next steps?
I get a really awesome cane
With a sword in it.
with a sword in it. Because it's needed. And it's just my vibe.
Plot reasons.
Plot reasons.
I think Charles tries to take the lead on writing a bogus story about a house exploding due to a gas leak. So that way, if anybody is trying to point suspicion, it sounds like something normal and fine and no big deal, and submits his articles to as many papers and journals as he can, just to try to get ahead of any suspicions.
Well, and at this time, a lot of the major news publications would be connected,
Yeah.
I believe, through routers. And so, with that being said, it very easily disperses. Charles able to get this kind of bogus story. He keeps it short and succinct so that it seems like it's, still developing.
Yeah, vague enough that it's plausible.
Send letters to Daniel and to Cassidy back in LA and let them know that I'm taking time off for my health.
They're appalled to see you taking a sabbatical at the height of your career. They offer you all sorts of, pay increases. I mean, it's not what your male colleagues are getting, of course, but it is substantially more than, the biggest stars, female stars at the time.
Well, just think of the story when I come back and I'm at my full self again.
There's rumors flooding through Hollywood that it's, maybe a little bit of a rehab situation brewing, but, it's also possible she got knocked up. Hollywood does crazy things. Wasn't it possibly the baby of that one director? Who's to say?
Never tell.
How well do I remember? Like, I guess it was pretty vague what the person looked like when we were driving away, right?
It was very vague, so there was nothing too assuming about him. He looked like a man in his 50s or so, brown hair, very average looking. He wasn't even very menacing looking. He just was staring at your vehicles intently. Who explicitly proposes the idea of the society?
Not James. James has begrudgingly lost all confidence in his ability to stand against whatever he thought he was going to be standing against. But there's the human side of things. Like, clearly these monkeys are going to kill themselves. So and for whatever reason, he takes some responsibility in that. But like, in all conversations, James would be like, yeah, well, I might not be here tomorrow. Like, he's always like, tomorrow, my last day. I'm done with you people. And then, like, he's just...
Good job, Wesley. You did a good job.
Kind of
I'll kill you in the morning.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. He's just, yeah.
I mean, I could have suggested it in passing, sort of, because, like, I don't know, some of the things that I've worked on with different people involve, like, cover-ups, keeping things quiet, making things look like something it's not.
I like that's the seed of an idea that Wiley talks about, and it's related to Charles distributing the article, and that, like, a good cover-up doesn't end when they do the first action. Like, it's a continued process. It doesn't mean that they have to do more actions, but they have to abide by that action. They have to hold it up and make sure that, if anybody begins to question it, that nobody breaks.
I have a near-death experience epiphany while on the operating table about how to protect this sort of masquerade that's been in place for who knows how long. Not sort of like the seedlings with Sly's idea or Wiley's idea, but more of an organization built around protecting those secrets.
James would also be very still coveting the idol that was found. He's like maybe a little too attached to it. Like, he would do everything in his power to keep it as one of his possessions. All this secretive society mumbo jumbo I'm skeptical of.
You said he's, like, coddling the statue?
It would be somewhere where he can always get to it relatively easily in his house. If people think it should be hidden away, he, for whatever reason, does not do that unless he's made do that. But, like, it's maybe on a shelf in maybe his study. He's got like a few mounted heads of the things he's hunted and brought down, and it's sort of like a trophy that way.
And all of you very
I
clearly
don't like other people
see,
touching it though.
probably due to the trauma that you felt as you touched it the first time.
I just feel like,
check.
yeah, I think James thinks it's his burden now.
And all of you see how James has taken the statue and covets is the wrong way, but he definitely keeps it close and ensures that other people don't interact with it too much. I want every one of you except James to give me a POW roll.
Best stat ever.
Regular success.
Regular success here as well.
65, and I rolled a 91.
Okay, so Wiley is a fail. Everybody else who succeeded, the statue calls to you throughout the house. And all you can feel is how evil it is. Wiley, the statue calls to you as well. And occasionally you ask James to catch a glimpse of it. And everybody else sees that. You're not hiding it. The fact that you want to see the statue.
So, James, can we take a look at that statue again? I won't touch it. I just feel like there's so much that we can learn from it. I won't touch it, I promise. I just want to see it. Maybe I'll remember something, or maybe something helpful will come to me. On how we can make sure that it's kept safe for you and from everyone else.
I look on it regularly.
Dottie,
Will you?
give me a psychology roll.
That is a 47. Still too high.
Dottie knows that the statue calling to them is bad. She doesn't know why. She doesn't know why they want it. She knows it's bad.
Wiley, darling. Could you help me go make some tea, please?
Okay.
And I just
Okay.
feign extra pain in my tummy.
Okay. James, later, maybe we can take a look at it?
Of course. It's not going
Come on.
home.
Come on, Dottie, let's go.
As
Cut
we're
my coat.
leaving to our little kitchen or whatever, I just shake my head at James.
I assume she does that a lot, so I'm okay.
God damn it, man. We make tea.
Wiley, now that you're away from the statue, you don't like the way that felt. It feels as if your soul has been corrupted. As if something was pulling at you, trying to drown you in ancient waters. And you can't help but think, if in the wrong hands, what is the power of this statue?
Do I guess I share that, obviously.
Could you share that with Dottie?
You're a doctor, right?
Last I checked, yes.
There's something wrong with that statue.
You don't say. What did you feel?
Sometimes I want to look at it. It's so bad, and I think that, there's all the answers and to keep it safe, and, it all feels really normal and makes sense and all that in the moment, but now I don't know. Now it just feels really... It feels wrong. I don't know, something feels wrong.
Sorry, Pasta.
Is it me?
She just woke up and she's looking for you because she heard you talking. Sorry. Get off there. Yuri, stop helping your mama.
Sorry, the statue's actually Cthulhu. It's calling.
As Wrinkle Pig comes running into the office.
The cats are here. So you felt as though you were coveting it, yes?
Not really. It's more like I just really want to look at it.
Look at it or have it?
I don't know. I think I want to have the answers that it has, not necessarily to take it. But I feel so bad. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't feel bad about very many things. Generally, I mean, whatever you gotta do, but I don't think there's enough money in the world to make this feeling go away.
Indeed. It is an unfortunate thing to be brushed by power.
How do you feel about it?
It's a wicked, evil thing. I worry for James's sanity.
We have to protect it, but also protect him. We have to keep it from the wrong people. I mean,
I do.
There are so many ways to do that. We could bury it, or we could, but I don't think that's enough. I think we have to do something permanent, sort of. That is outwardly visible, that people can see, because if it's too secretive, then it'll just, then everybody will want to know what it is. So if it's kind of like, oh, there's this cool club or whatever, but it's exclusive, maybe, right? And then keep the whole meaning of it hidden.
Exclusive clubs and societies have existed for time immemorial.
Maybe that's
so strange for another one to pop up.
Maybe
at this point, what are Charles and Emma doing?
I feel like Emma would be studying anything and everything about like different stories maybe that have popped up over time about things we've learned.
Okay.
Bit of a closet nerd.
Would she have gone to like a library or anything to do some research?
Sorry, just a quick side
Probably.
note, Katie. I can't hear you very well. Like you're very, very. Sorry. That might just be me.
I can hear her.
I
Your
turned her up
volume
on
is-
my Discord.
Yeah, I had to turn them up in Discord.
I have my gain turned down kind of far because I didn't know. I just got this microphone like literally today, so I'm not really sure.
It's better now. Sorry, you were just very quiet and your volume is full.
It is definitely better for sure.
Okay, I'll leave it where it is then.
Sorry. guys.
Sorry, were you doing a library? Like going to the library or anything?
Yeah, assuming that pasta doesn't knock everything over here. Yes.
Sure. Give me a library use roll.
Like a regular success. I rolled a 40 and my library use is a 50.
Perfect. Yeah, that is a regular success. So, yeah, you managed to find some pretty obscure texts that begin to talk about a different echelon of gods. It's pretty obscure. It doesn't really get into the details of it. But you find information that talks about the outer gods and the great old ones. And it talks about how, there were civilizations that worshiped these things a long time ago, and it was ritualistic in nature. But you also find the name Cthulhu. And so you know that this thing has been around for millennia, this belief. And you also know that James was talking about it when he held the statue. What's your mythos score, your Cthulhu mythos?
5.
Okay, I would like you to add 2 percentiles to that to make it 7. And you'll also reduce your current sanity by 2. It took you a few hours to find that information. I would think that you were doing that while all these conversations were happening. What would Emma do with that information?
I'd probably take it to the girls.
I'm gonna say that by the time you get back, it lines up with Dottie and Wiley speaking in the kitchen about these things. And Charles. What is Charles doing?
I feel like Charles is like looking at his like going back through his old articles and stuff that he had written about like different societies and like different connections that he had made with people out and about in Arkham. Just looking to see if there's anything that is kind of jumping out as standing out to him in regards to like connections to this statue that we have or the fish people or anything like that.
Yeah, he finds articles. It would be very easy for Charles being his connections, and we'll say this happens over time, but he finds lots of articles from the past 100 years at least that link to mysterious happenings all around Arkham and New England.
Yeah, I think I bring them and probably bring them to James just as we kind of had that bonding moment in the car and probably the person that he feels the most connected to in the group. and just kind of brings like, here's kind of what I've found, and I think that there might be some connection to this statue that you have. Maybe this is your next big hunt.
Okay.
How does James feel about that?
I don't. I was hoping this was all going to sort of pass, that you people would realize what a deft endeavor this is. I've enjoyed the company, believe me. But can we really do this? Can we really stand, like, it's all myths and fairy tales.
I don't know how I can do anything else after what we've been through. Like I said in the car, I don't know how I can just go back to work and just go about my day.
You still feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think about those things all the time. Like, eating a bagel reminds me now.
I must admit, looking at the polished banister makes me queasy. The
Kind of puts a hole in your stomach, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right through your very being.
Yeah. Cuts deep.
So deep.
And on that terrible joke. We're gonna flash back to the kitchen where Wiley and Jotty have been discussing what to do when Emma arrives, telling them of the information she's just learned.
They're never gonna believe what I found.
Let me guess. A silver plunger.
We need one of those?
I don't know, do we?
Only for wear shits.
No, I didn't know that was a thing. Give us a moment as
Kate, I don't know what the
dying over there.
Cthulhu version. Yeah, sorry. As I was drinking a drink, Kate, I don't know what the Cthulhu version of inspiration is, but you get it. Because that was a joke I didn't know I needed in my life. You know what? You get +5 luck just for that joke.
Hey.
Nice.
Amazing.
Anyway, what did you find, Emma?
I explain all of the information about finding Cthulhu's name and like a mention of him throughout like history and that sort of thing. And just sort of like, fill them in on everything that you said 3 minutes ago that I've completely forgotten now because of that joke.
Completely derailed.
Yep.
She tells you about the echelon of gods known as the Outer Gods, and how they control over the Great Old Ones, and Cthulhu is listed as the Great Old One.
Interesting.
Yeah, like
She
have to
also She's also able to tell you that it appears ritualistic, like people across millennia have been trying to get him to rise.
Yeah. So we have to keep it safe for James, but also from the world, right? Something like a club or something, making it exclusive, like I said. That way people know about it, but feel like, oh, I could never. It's for the rich, it's for the rich or the powerful, or something out in the open, something also secretive. James has money. Emma's famous. Charles is a journalist. He can write the pieces that keep the mystery and intrigue up, but also pushes the feeling that it's unattainable. Some kind of exclusive church or something. I'm like
Putting
vibrating.
that tea.
Like,
Perhaps you should switch to decaf, darling.
no, but this is. It makes sense. It makes sense. We can make this happen, right? Right?
Yes, of course. We're all wily and intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And with that thought spoken aloud, a secret society, a secret club, an organization, you begin formulating a plan, working deep into the night, and you decide that, well, if it's going to be a secret, not secret, just call it what it is. The society. However, you need to create it to be somewhat somewhat intriguing to the outside world. The society, sure, that's great, but you know, it's the 1920s. Everybody is engaged in the occult, but also science, and there are two opposing sides of it. And you decide, well, why not both? Why not Zoidberg, of course? And you put it together, the Society for Transcendental Sciences, and you create a nice motto of where mysticism and discipline coalesce. You know, something that makes it seem incredibly official. And of course, if the great Emma Reynolds has joined up with this, it has to be something. I mean, all the greatest secret societies have movie stars in them, of course. And you spend the next year using Charles to write those little articles under, you know, pseudonyms and getting the word out there. What's one action that every single one of you takes to spread the word that the society is something that people need to be a part of?
I write a medical dissertation dissecting the comparatives between religion and science and how magic at the beginning of time was touted as acts of God, but can now be explained away with science. And the society intends to further extrapolate on that.
Suddenly, the scientific community at large is both shocked and appalled, but also intrigued by your stance on the occult and science being something interrelated. And whispers begin to emerge of secret experiments happening within the confines of the society walls. How would Emma use her superstardom to spread the good word of the society?
I would at some point take a trip back to LA and like visit all of my like pals that I have out there and spread these like just absolutely wild stories of my time away where I was away from my health and I became part of this society that like they did so much good for me and they could do so much good for the world and just sort of spread it around that way.
Suddenly, the rumors of the drug abuse and, you know, infidelity leading to unwanted children begins to disappear. Oh, she didn't do that. She just joined some sort of higher order of religion that the rest of us need to invest in. Perhaps they know secrets beyond what Catholicism could give the average person. And of course, there also begins to be those stars who claim that they're a part of it, but you know they're not. Not that you would tell anyone, of course.
I let them keep their secrets.
Charles.
I think I write articles. I know this is my like solution to everything is writing articles, but I'm a journalist. There's only so much I can do. I feel like I write articles and like letters to the editor on behalf of the society that make us sound very grand and very like exclusive, and like we have knowledge that other people don't, so that it kind of gets the word out that like we're out there, but while keeping our anonymity. No names are attached to it. It's always just signed the society. Yeah.
And of course, even events that you guys have no affiliation with whatsoever, occasionally there's an article that goes out to the editor saying the society signed off. Like you have some sort of deep inner knowledge. And there are some people who discredit you, of course, because they were there, but most people don't know that you weren't there. And so they begin to believe that you're everywhere, of course.
And I'm sure occasionally there's some that are for events that didn't happen. They're just completely fabricated, but Charles hasn't done creative writing since he was in school, so.
Expository it is. Wiley.
When I'm being paid to work on a variety of different projects with a variety of different people, I make sure to mention the society when it's important. You know, in a couple cases, maybe the society sent me. Or maybe I'm doing something so I can be with the society. Just, you know, saying the right thing to the right people whenever possible.
Well, and you begin to understand as people hear you say the society and they go, oh yes, of course it's this. Oh, well, can I tell anybody about this? And you kind of give a kind of sly phrase of do as you wish. And people begin to run with the idea that the society has people on the ground floor. The society is for the working man as well as the rich. They want to help everyone. Now, James, you were begrudgingly allowing them to fantasize about continuing with the hunt. You had hoped the whole thing would pass, and yet you felt a strong connection to protect these people. What would James have been doing during this time? Would he have been trying to pass off the society, or is he waiting silently in the background?
I think he's still largely skeptical. But I think over this time together and this moment with these fish people, he definitely, they've seen him at his weakest, so there's a bit of an attachment there. But I feel like maybe James has a little bit of money, so maybe occasionally James like goes away on a trip. You know, someone claims they've sighted a Bigfoot or a Yeti or maybe something like the Loch Ness Monster, with particular interest in the aquatic sightings of these sort of cryptozoic, these cryptid animals or creatures that are out there. Any kind of something like that. Maybe suddenly like the person who claims to have seen it has a friend having a drink with him that night who maybe begrudgingly says, that the society believes in what they've seen or what they've witnessed.
And the effect of this, of course, is twofold. So not only does the society get out of Arkham and out of Rhode Island and across North America, spreading the word and making them seem like they have members everywhere, because nobody can justify that it's the same man doing that much traveling. He must have wealth if that were the case. But the other aspect is that, of course, the society will throw parties to intrigue people. Most of the extras are hired, but you do begin to hire people who believe that they're a part of something grander. They just haven't been allowed into the upper parts of the society yet. So they work as secretaries and custodians and things like that. And so whenever James is missing, people notice. And people begin to talk about all the things that the society must have its hands in if they can't even be bothered to stay within their own building.
Oh, the one place James does not return to, regardless of how intriguing any stories are, he does not go back into the southern parts of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That part of the continent he avoids.
Mm-hmm. It haunts his memories.
Yeah, there's too much that went on there. So but anywhere else in the world that he can get to, he'll go.
Over the next year, the society becomes world renowned. Of course, many of you come with some money. Even Emma does small acting roles once in a while to keep up the illusion. However, you don't have as much money as you hope you have. In fact, the building that you choose is one that's been run down and you're renovating because it was grand at one time. It just hasn't been taken care of in a while. And the building that you choose has many areas that you vault off and allow access to only certain people who have earned the right to be a part of the deep rituals of the society. But in reality, behind the doors, there's a lot of construction, a lot of areas that you are constantly trying to repair and fix up, and if they went behind there, it would shatter the illusion, because clearly the building is not as grand as it looks to at the entrance. However, there are 3 options of buildings before you. You decide that Arkham is going to be your place to call home. And when you do your research, you find 3 separate locations that you think will sell the entire thing to everyone. You find all 3 abandoned buildings. One is an old manse. At one time, there were probably extravagant parties and secret chambers deep below that not everybody knew of. You also find an abandoned museum. Sure, it's only 1 level plus some weird tunnels and a basement, but it's sprawling, and there could be many places to hide your esoteric activities. And the third option is an observatory on the edge of town. It still has its stargazing room and a library, and it's built into a cliff, so the floor plan isn't, large, sprawling rooms, and it is multi-leveled, but they're all fairly small levels. But you have an entire view of Arkham as well. So, which location would you choose?
Nerd in me really wants the observatory.
Mm,
I love me a
So-
dilapidated building.
All three, sir. All three of them.
So I don't know how much like Wiley would know about this specifically, but I do know. I mean, I don't know. Wiley talks to people, but there is that in the observatory. There is that whole, um the macrocosm within the microcosm, right? The way like sacred architecture is built and designed to bring everything down to our level of understanding. I think that would be the perfect place to have a secret society because then it always has that like connection to what people will never understand, but what maybe we understand, what we must understand. But I don't know how much like Wiley would know about that. That's all like stuff that I know from school.
Sounds great to me.
Thanks. I also just like as a side note or like as a side thought, you know how there was talk of you know only some people are allowed to be involved in these certain rooms and coming into these places and stuff. Maybe there could be stories of people who are exiled for crossing those thresholds when they're not supposed to. The people aren't actually real, but we have to make
Sow
people,
the seeds.
yeah, they have to
Mhm.
be,
The
people have to
desire
be
is there.
afraid. Like they have to be curious, but have to be terrified. And if someone does happen to cross that threshold, we have to be not afraid to deal with it.
Does that mean?
I don't know.
Black powder cigar.
Jesus. You and blowing up things. You should have learned your lesson by now.
I did learn my lesson, thank you. It's just so useful.
I also think the view of Arkham in this building will will help the illusion of being all like so far reaching and being all knowing. So not only do we have access to everything above, but we have access to everything below. Because above, so below. Right? Is that
Overwatching the entire city. Yes.
well
I mean,
connected to everything?
Pause for a moment. Are we maybe becoming the thing that we're opposing?
Are we the baddies?
are we the cult of Cthulhu? Fuck.
No, Cthulhu's underwater, guys. We're talking about in the air.
Perhaps there will be some zealotry from those outside of our circle, but I believe that's the case with any
Speak to you all
sort of
about that.
organization.
I'm really not comfortable with bringing so many people to.
It isn't a matter of involving them in the statue and the protection and keeping everyone safe. That is just our higher goal. But
Well, and that's the
with people
thing.
comes money, and we need money.
And remember, we don't have to just let anybody in. The more exclusive we are,
Yes.
the
Be
more
very
power we
selective.
have, right? And the more people know, and the more people are like, ooh, like we want to be involved too, but also here, like we have to do so much and be a part of this, even on like the most basic
But
of levels.
we just become the Masons.
I should have
Is that
maybe
not a
found a
thing in
church.
Canada?
I have a feeling we're all going to hell. But listen, I
But what
don't
have
care
I?
what building you put this in. I don't care. But for God's sakes, we can't bring. This has already affected us. We've one encounter with this. What are we calling it? Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Yes. One encounter with this thing, or its people, or whatever we're calling those things. Like, it's left our mark. And I sort of point to Limpy there.
But I have a lovely scar.
Let's just make sure we're not scarring other people.
That is not the intention. The intention, as far as anyone else knows, is it's just one big party.
Only us 5 will know the truth. We'll know what we're trying to stop by looking into these things. The rest is just rumor and sad talk.
I know, but we're just hiding up real danger with bullshit.
Yes.
That's...
I mean...
And you don't see the danger in that?
Oh, there will be danger regardless of how we tackle this. Whether we keep it to ourselves or involve the masses to appear more powerful than we are.
I feel like this could be a tactical error, but...
If you have another suggestion for how we gain the
I don't. That's the problem.
Well, if you do,
and we still don't know what she does, just for the record.
She's a spy.
On that note, Sly's computer
I
has
think she's
frozen.
well, she's saying in the chat that it's gone kaput. So we'll assume that she's left the scene. So speak about her however you want. This is good stuff.
Definitely a spy.
From the Germans, maybe.
I doubt it.
The Italians?
Perhaps.
Do as you please.
And on Charles's hesitation, you do. You buy the observatory because it was incredibly cheap. You fix the facade in order to be just exactly that, a ruse to the world. And a year later, everywhere around you, you hear the society, and you can't help but smirk whenever you do, because you know that it's a part of you. Except James, who cringes a bit whenever he hears it. However, it's just after breakfast one day when there is a knock. And you haven't quite started your normal proceedings of whatever it is you do during the day, and so your secretary hasn't taken her post, and so we'll say Emma gingerly heads towards the front door. And she immediately sees a face that she recognizes. It's a very average-looking man from a year ago who stared intently at your license plate. And before you can say anything, he says, I knew it. I knew it. I spent the last year, but I found you. And then he reaches out, and before you can pull away, he grasps your hands and he says, I don't know what it is that you sealed beneath that house, but I know that you can help me.
I'm so sorry. Side note.
You froze in the best position, though.
You also never left the call, which is weird.
Yeah.
She's magical.
The whole time?
Yeah, like it left you in the call. Like we couldn't hear or see you, but you didn't. It never dropped you out of the Discord call, which is the weirdest thing.
Weird.
Discord
My
Cthulhu.
everything just blue screen.
Weird.
Cthulhu got me.
It was like, if anything, it's Scientology. We made some vague references.
Super vague.
Like,
Definitely
not
doesn't
not at all.
require money
Yeah.
or anything to join. No.
Exactly.
And the levels are
I'm
not
going on the
called
record as
OTs.
being the skeptic. I was not for it. Let the notes show. Let the ledger show that.
And
I look at our guests and I say, I just sort of like lean against the doorway in that sort of like sexy actress pose that they do, and just kind of look him up and down and be like, well, you best come inside and tell me what you know then. Come on.
and you lead him into the kitchen and sit him down.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Jeremy.
He takes his hat off and kind of looks down at the table and fiddles with his hat, and he says, I don't rightly know how to say this, but somebody very, very near to me has been messing around with all the wrong things, and I don't know what they're doing, but I know that Joshua Winscott met some sort of end with something he didn't know much about either, and I'm afraid that I'm afraid that it might be something similar. He talks about his tenant. You see, this is Mr. Abner Foss, who is a landlord in Providence. And he talks about how...
Sorry, are we all there now listening to him?
Yes, all of you were there.
Like
Okay.
brought him into the little kitchen thing that we've got and was like, y'all, we have a guest.
Oh,
We're
goody.
like this secret society, and we're talking in the kitchen. We don't have like a room for this. If you guys are gonna do this, you better do it right.
Yeah, we should have.
Why
like, a
would we
little-
leave the kitchen? That's where the food is.
I thought Rude said that it was really like early in the day. That's why I
It is,
assumed that we
yeah.
were in the kitchen.
You were all eating breakfast.
That's where the tea is.
That's where the bagels are.
The bagels.
Have a patio or something to eat breakfast on. I feel like I'm.
There is absolutely a like a terrace overlooking, so you could absolutely be eating out there if you wish.
I take him up there where
Sure.
they're insisting on eating breakfast. In
I have
ridiculous
oatmeal. I have 2 slices of orange. I have a cup of tea and a newspaper. And I pay no fucking attention to this jackass that has arrived, but I am listening intently.
Yes, exactly.
He re-explains himself for everybody who's there. I saw all 5 of you on the day that house of Joshua Winscott's blew up. I know you were there. There's no point in lying, but I'm not here. I want to make it clear, I'm not here to turn you in.
Oh, good, because we'd have to kill you otherwise.
And he looks around. He's like, I'm sure you would, ma'am. I've heard of the society. I saw what you did to that house, so I know you must have some very powerful friends.
We do.
I try not to snort my tea.
I kick him under the table.
At Wiley's comment, Charles gets scared. He's like, "We do."
I'll just like
Oh,
lean
shit.
forward.
She
But-
said
like,
that
make
was
eye
venom.
contact.
Like,
Charles is just the guy
fitting.
who's constantly finding himself surprised to be included.
yeah. I became a
How did
rebel
I
so
get
would have
here?
friends.
They like me. They really like me.
He's just the guy who's like, how did I even get here? Like, I was going to the store.
That's Cade in real life a lot of the time.
That's me in real life too.
Go on.
He says, but that's exactly what I need right now. I need some powerful friends, you see. And he hesitates for a second, and he says, my tenant. He shakes his head and he says, my friend, my very close friend, it has been dabbling in things, and I think it's gotten him in trouble. The other night I heard shouting and screaming coming from his room. And then when I tried to get in there, he had changed the locks so I could no longer get into the suite that I look after. I don't think whatever he was doing need to involve the police, because I think that it's something that they're gonna look at me and look at him and they're gonna turn their noses up. Do you understand what I mean?
No, spell it out for me.
Yeah, you think this has to do with us?
And he takes a deep breath out and he says his name, and he looks at James and he says, "I'm sorry, his name is also James." James and I are very close.
Roommates.
And so
I knew some men like you in the trenches.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure they asked you not to tell anyone too. And so I'm afraid that if I go to the police, they will not take the matter seriously. So I need somebody who might know a thing or two about weird subjects. I need you to go into the room because I can't bear to do it myself, and I know the police won't help me.
Maybe your friend
So,
just has a new friend.
you know, I'd be happy for him, I believe. But I haven't heard from him in 3 days.
Is there
I don't
a-
think this is a new friend. And I know that he told me to stay away because he would be doing something in which he would not return, and I don't mean killing himself.
Does your friend have any exotic tastes?
He owns some weird books, I know that. Some books written in languages I've never seen before. Many of them talking about dreams and the dreamlands. And I don't know what that is, but I know it's not what I see when I close my eyes. It's someplace he said he was never coming back from. Again, I don't know what it is that you did with Mr. Winscott. I just know that you blew up that building. And I have an instinct that you did it to stop something from coming out. And I don't know what this is, but I am begging you to return to Providence and solve it before it gets out. Can't pay you much. I might have $100 to my name. But you can find and take whatever it is that you see that ain't have no purpose in this world. Just help me help him.
I think what you're asking of the society is significant, and I think that we need to discuss. Don't go anywhere.
He looks around as if he should sit here, as in don't go anywhere, or if he should go back to the entrance as if don't go anywhere, and he just puts his head down and pretends not to listen.
We can I just kind of look at them and so we can be slightly out of earshot, but still.
Sure, you find a little. Oh, let's say that you just kind of sneak back into the entryway to the terrace.
As long as he can't get past it.
I'm gonna be awkwardly long in realizing that I have to leave my tea and go off the terrace.
Oh, James, you can take the full tea with you.
Ugh.
Obviously.
I'll offer it to I'll offer it to the gentleman before I leave. I'm like, here, my good man, a cup of tea, perhaps.
And he takes it from you and nods in graciousness, and you can see him very visibly shaking as it spills slightly, but he
I'm gonna
takes a
hold his
sip.
hands. I'm gonna be like, I bought that in India. You need to be a little more careful. Sip it.
Puts two hands on it and like hunkers down low of the table as if like if it spills out, he's going to just slurp it from there.
God damn Americans! I'm not. I'm gonna walk out after the rest of them.
Obviously, we have to look into this.
Kill him? Oh.
Maybe after. We have to look into this and make sure this doesn't get out first.
Was that serious?
No, of course not.
I think maybe if we want to make sure that he doesn't talk, because, you know, he says we can have whatever we want, blah, blah, blah. I think maybe we should initiate him into the lowest ranks of society.
Oh, no.
Wait, let me finish, please. Because then he'll be afraid to talk. If he talks to the wrong person, because we have eyes and ears everywhere.
That man is already afraid, and frankly, is already hiding secrets from everyone. I don't think we need to bring him into what our little chess club here.
I mean, like, very, very, like, you know, the ones that we hire to, like...
No, I understand that, but, like, the man is just terrified.
But maybe this will also help him feel a little bit less terrified in the right ways. It will ensure his loyalty because we're protecting him, but also will ensure his loyalty because if he betrays us,
then we kill him.
We'll just feed him to whatever he's afraid of.
Honest to God, Doctor, you're a little obsessed with the dead.
Coroner.
I know. I think that this is the best way. And I mean, we can always just like release him later on. What if he gets spooked and runs away? What if he changes his mind? This is all just preventative. I think offering him the security will be very helpful. It'll help him be more talkative. It'll help him be more relaxed. But also, he'll owe us big time. At least until we have this dealt with. Then we can just... No, Dottie.
I said nothing.
Have you ever been in love, Wiley?
I don't know how that has anything to do with it.
That man up there is in love. You don't need to worry.
With his tenant?
You...
Oh! I love a love story.
Okay, so maybe we can...
What I'm saying is, he's not going to run away. He's not going to snitch. He doesn't need any more mind-washing, converting. The man is in love, and he's just protecting the thing he loves. And believe me, that is much stronger than any sort of oath any of us could take.
What happens if we can't save the tenant? Or the person he's in love with? Then what? Then he loses all sense of... Nothing matters, so, you know.
So you're going to blackmail him? Is that what we're doing here? That we're going to...
I'm saying we should give him the security, but also the slight undertone of threat. But mostly security.
No. Slight undertone of threat.
The moderate high tone of threat.
All I said is that we know people in high places. So all I said.
But you're asking us to lean on him.
Yeah, for our safety. And his.
Don't you think if we're going to do this, that we shouldn't...
How about this?
Better to be protectors and leaders than tyrants and extortionists.
Exactly, we're protecting him.
But not through the right channels, Wiley, if we're going to be threatening harm if he turns over on us. That's not how we're
It's
going to win
implied.
people.
We're not going to say it, it's just implied. But also, hear me out. This society is for everyone, right?
Is it?
That's the idea that we're pushing, right? It's for everyone. In a way, we help everyone, right? He says he has $100 to his name and nothing else. If we offer to care, to protect, and include him and involve him, we're not scary, we're not threatening, we're a benevolent society that takes care of the people. It's good for, it looks good for us and helps him. Because we're not going to take his money. Why would we take his money? He has $100 to his name. That's just cruel. So if we can offer him safety, that's worth so much more than money. Right? And people talk. We're not scary. We're helpful. We support those who need it. People can come to us for help with these things. It will make it so that we have access to these situations.
As long as they don't roll over on us.
Yeah, but we're not
Because
going to tell
then
him
we've
that.
got the stick.
Yeah,
Right?
but we're not going to tell him that. It's just implied. But isn't that the way it always has been?
It's not the
Right?
way
You
I
can't
run
go
things.
you can't go into these parts of the building. It's only for those who are worth or who have earned it. If you haven't earned it and you go, oops.
And
Even though
with
those
that,
people aren't real.
This man clearly needs help. If we're going to help him, I'm on board. But if we're going to extort him for silence, he's not going like...
I'm not saying we're extorting. I'm saying that it's a slightly undertoned, hey, think about this if you're going to talk. But we're not going to say that.
and just then, you all hear as the door from the terrace opens. Abner stands there and he's, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to overhear, and I just, time is of the essence. It took me a while to get here. I haven't heard from him in 3 days. I really I either need your help or I'm gonna have to drink a whole bottle of whiskey and do it myself. And that doesn't sound fun for me neither. Especially if there's something in there that you might all be interested in. Now, either you help me or you don't. But I just heard y'all say something about initiating me, and I'm not interested in that. I just want James back.
No. You misunderstood, my good friend. We're going to help you. Right?
Of course. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And the five of you rely on Abner to take you back to Providence. You all take your own vehicles, of course, but he leads the way, and it certainly is just down the road. About a kilometer, maybe two. Far enough that it was easy that somebody could have walked and seen what had happened. And you arrive in front of a 3-story boarding house called Ma Shanks. Just at the edge of Federal Hill and near the Italian district. And Abner looks up and he says, I'm not the owner. That will be Ma Shank, but I'm the landlord and I live here as well. She does as well. But in there, and he points up to one of the windows that you can tell the drapes have been closed tightly. That's his room. And an eerie silence falls over all 6 of you as you simultaneously gaze upon a house that holds a secret and also recall the dangerous events from a year ago, which have led you to the creation of the society. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for for joining us for session 2, the return of the Society, our Call of Cthulhu actual play. However, with that, I'm going to do what we normally do. And Cade, why don't you take us out of this episode?
Sure. So we are going to go around and everyone's going to have a chance to plug whatever they want to plug. So we're going to go in the order in which you appear on my screen. So Avi, you are up first.
That's me.
Yeah.
I am Afi the DM. I am the community manager of the Vactair, and the Vactair is my goodness, sorry. The Vactair is a community of tabletoppers and artists and podcasters, and we have games over on our Twitch stream of the same name pretty much every day almost these days. I run the game on Mondays, and I'm in the game on Fridays that Artemis runs. And just check us out. We're fun
Awesome.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we make people cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's body horror, and sometimes it's cheese.
Yeah.
So
Gross.
kind of
Same
pick
thing.
the poison, right?
Same thing. Artemis. I know you have a lot of the same stuff, but plug whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm Artemis. I'm the content coordinator and social media manager over at the Vactair, and I, just sort of take my orders from Affy, and we go from there, and we sort of run that circus over there, and yeah, I don't know. I just kind of live there now.
All right. Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy. You can catch me here on Twitch at DM_Jeremy. Very excited this Sunday. We're closing out our Blood in the Six, which has been our little vampire, the masquerade story. So maybe come over and check that out this Sunday and hang out with us.
Awesome.
Artemis and I are in that too.
They get around.
Yeah, we're kind of everywhere.
I get around. I get around.
Sly.
Hello, I'm Sly, and I'm everyone's favorite shoe-throwing Minotaur girlfriend, Tiefling, on the Vactair's Monday night Mistwalkers. And yeah, just happy to be here. And I think cheese is pretty cool. Okay?
It's okay to be wrong. Ruin.
Hey, I'm Ruin Ortega. I am one of 4 hosts of Cantrips and Coffee, the tabletop podcast where we rate and review different tabletop systems to let you know where to spend your hard-earned money, because even though we love D&D, it's never D&D. There are other things out there that we want you to explore, and occasionally you can catch me here doing some streaming, whether it is the Spelljammer campaign we kind of just finished, left on a cliffhanger, or this Call of Cthulhu campaign that we just started.
Awesome. And I'm Cade. I'm also a host of Cantrips and Coffee. I'm also a host of the Vinyl on Tap podcast. I also build guitars. You can check me out at Ravencroft Guitars on everything. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you, Ruin, for an awesome session. And yeah, I'm going to find someone for us to raid that we follow. I'm not sure who yet, but stick around, give them some love, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.